straight from the soul with it. Yeah. So Los Angeles Times writer Brad Turner was on Mason in Ireland, and he spoke about the breaking news today that Anthony Davis has informed the Pelicans front office that he will not be signing a contract extension with the New Orleans Pelicans, and that he has in fact requested a trade. LA Times Brad Turner wrote on Twitter and released an article stating that an Anthony Davis trade will cost the Lakers Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and more. So that's when Mason asked Brad. He stated that the trade starts with Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and more, and basically that isn't enough. So he asked Brad what other players do he think would be included in the package for Anthony Davis. He responded by saying Brandon Ingram, but the three names Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and Ivica Zubac intrigued the New Orleans Pelicans the most. He stated that the Pelicans believe moving forward these three players could help the Pelicans craft a team and build towards the future. He says that the New Orleans Pelicans really do like Lonzo Ball, and they think that if Lonzo is out of LeBron and the Lakers spotlight, he could really develop into a really good NBA player. So that is when John Ireland asked Brad Turner how does he feel about the February 7th trade deadline, and asked Brad, is it possible that Anthony Davis moves now and then? And this is what Brad had to say. In my mind, I'm going to say there's an 80% chance that he's moved by the trade deadline, because the one thing that I know about Danny Ainge, yes, he does want Anthony Davis because he is one of the shrewdest, most difficult guys to make deals with, and he will kick your pockets with you standing there. And if you are the Pelicans, sure, I do believe Boston have better assets with their players. They have better draft picks going forward. So if they were available now, New Orleans would prefer to go to the Celtics. But let's not forget AD signed with this agent who also happens to be LeBron James' agent. LeBron plays in LA for the Lakers. So the assumption around the NBA, which I think is accurate, is that Anthony Davis' preference is to be in LA with the Lakers. So if you guys would like to hear the full audio, the link is in the description box. But listen, people, we all knew this day was coming. The script has already been written, people. Y'all can call me crazy all y'all want, but in the midst of y'all calling me crazy, you gotta say the boy has been right about a lot of stuff this year more than I have been wrong. Now, I stated that if I was the Lakers, I would trade everybody, including the announcers, for Anthony Davis. There were people out there saying that they wouldn't give up Kyle Kuzma, but as I stated before, you know, by you telling the Pelicans, hey, I'm not giving up Kyle Kuzma, that's like telling them that you think Kyle Kuzma is a better player than Anthony Davis, and that gives them every right to hang up the phone on you. You know, when I criticized Ingram and Kyle Kuzma this year, people got upset, but it's not that they aren't great players, but the timing, and I see flaws in these players. I see things, I look at the game from a totally different perspective. I do a lot of film study. I do a lot of reading. I just got finished reading the article. It was a Q&A from the Warriors assistant, goes by the name of Ron Adams. It's my opinion, but it's also coming from things that I read and a lot of research that I've done. You know, you have to be ready to go when you playing with a player like LeBron James, and but most of our young core is already gone pretty much. Jordan Clarkson, D'Angelo Russell, Larry Nance, Julius Randle. So when they say they moving forward with the young core, I didn't believe it. So with all the Anthony Davis reports, then LeBron being 34, it kind of speeds up the process for the Lakers. I think the young pieces have always been pawns on the chessboard, but you have to sacrifice a lot. You know, as the saying goes, you have to give up something to get something, especially for a player like Anthony Davis. He's a once in a generation type talent, and I believe that this trade will happen before the deadline, because you have to think like logically for a minute. The only way I think the Warriors break up is if somebody defeats them, and if the Lakers plan on getting one out of those three players who will be free agents in 2019, which is Klay Thompson, KD, and DeMarcus Cousins. So if the Warriors win another championship, why would they want to break up when they could just keep racking up on rings? If it's not broke, then don't fix it. Even though KD may decide that he wants to lead his own team, but if you really want a shot at Klay Thompson, you have to give them a reason to want to leave. You have to create some kind of dysfunction. I just read a report that Klay Thompson would be interested in joining the Lakers if they traded for Anthony Davis, and that's why I say it would be smart to go after Anthony Davis right now, because you need a better sales pitch to these free agents in the summer, opposed to going into the summer full of young guys. So LeBron James and Anthony Davis together gives you a very frightening combination, because they're so dominant inside and outside. And that's why I say in my previous video, if you are the New Orleans Pelicans, you're not going to get a superstar in 2019. You're definitely not going to get one in 2020 or 2021. And most likely you won't get one when I get older and I decide to have kids and they grow up. And so just let it go. Then people keep discussing the Celtics, how they have these great assets, like, but you have to think, just imagine if the Lakers were in the East and they didn't have LeBron James back in like 2017, 2018. I think the Lakers would be just as great as the Celtics were last year without Kyrie Irving. Just imagine if Luke was able to run his system and motivate his players in the Eastern Conference versus more subpar teams on a nightly basis. Do I think just LeBron James and Anthony Davis alone together defeat the Warriors? Absolutely not. But they can challenge them and they have a better chance of going like 5 or 6 games. There'll be a player missing. I stated that when I said that if the Lakers ever made a trade for Anthony Davis or Kawhi, they would need a legit closer in the fourth quarter. Someone who isn't 68% from the free throw line, is not a liability down the stretch. They would need that extra piece to put them over the top. A guy who's unconscious, ruthless, heartless, clutch, and who is the ultimate closer in the fourth quarter. And who would say, give me the ball, get out my way, and take over. That would be the cherry on top. And I believe that would guarantee that the Lakers would win the 2019 NBA Finals. That's just my opinion. And I honestly do believe that the Lakers have a trick up their sleeve, but we just have to sit back and wait. The NBA owe us for vetoing that Chris Paul trade years ago. Somebody need to tell Adam Silver we need Anthony Davis by tomorrow, and now the pressure is on the Lakers front office.